Hi everyone, very good afternoon to all of you. I hope everyone is good. So I welcome you in this particular video where we are going to, this is a kind of third lecture specifically of MCQ revision that we are doing. Alright. Hi Shraddha, very good afternoon. Hi Satyat, very good afternoon. So I think without any delay, we should start with the session. We are already done with 200 questions. So whosoever is here who have not seen that yet, I request them all to see the previous two videos. In every video we consider, in every video we solve 100 questions and we are done with two of the sessions. We are done with 200 questions, right? So this is from where we are going to start. This is 301st question, right? Alright, so the first question here is, in June 2025, RBI issued final guidelines on due intelligence of Aadhaar-enabled payment services, specifically touching, touch point operators. When will these guidelines come into force? Is it October 1st, 2025, November 1st, December 1st, January 1st, 2026, or April 1st, 2026? I want quick answers, please. I want quick answers, please. Raj says D. Okay, almost everyone says D. Alright, so the correct answer here is D. You can clearly see here that RBI is the one who issued guidelines in June 2025 only under PSS Act 2007. So whatever I am highlighting here, maybe a question can be asked in another way also. So जो question बनाया है वो भी important है. Again repeating, the explanatory part here is also very very important, because हो सकता है कि जो direct question हमने बनाया हो सकता है उसमें से question आए, but जो हमारा explanation section है उसमें से question जो है वो पूछा जाए. So everything which is written here is very very important. Next question says, as per RBI's Aadhaar-enabled payment services guidelines, which of the following operational parameters should acquiring banks integrate into the fraud risk management, management framework for ATOs here? Is it customer, income level and credit scores, ATO location type, transaction volume and velocity, RBI inspection frequency, NPCI's quarterly audit reports, for insurance coverage of ATOs? Okay. Almost everyone is saying B. Alright, B is the correct answer here. When I talk about such guidelines which have been released by RBI here, they highly emphasize on ongoing monitoring of ATOs, right? That is just by acquiring banks. The parameters like location, type of ATO is important, volume, velocity of transaction is also very important to consider. Next question says, as per RBI's international investment position data released in June 2025, which component accounted for the largest share, over 54% of the increase in India's overseas financial asset during financial year 2025? Is it currency and deposits, direct investment, reserve assets, portfolio investment, or for loans? Come on, I want quick answers, please. Is it A, B, C, D, E? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Alright, I'd say C. Okay, C is the correct answer, which includes reserves asset, right? So this completely shows, or this highlights that the reserve asset alone contributed over 54% here. So maybe a question can be asked in this way as well. Next question says, what was the major driver of growth now in the India's overseas financial assets in financial year 2025 according to the RBI's IIP data? Is it reserve assets, portfolio investment and loans, currency deposits, trade, credit, FDI inflows, direct investment, currency and deposits and reserve assets, portfolio investment, FDI outflow and SDR allocation, gold reserves, portfolio debt, or for ECBs? Come on. Be very quick. Raj says fourth ka D. Alright, so C is the correct answer here. They can ask you another way also, that what is the percentage here. So the percentage growth, that is just 72% growth here in overseas financial year was led by the higher overseas direct investment, currency deposit and reserve asset is also part of it. So everyone should remember this explanation, right? Next question says, as per RBI's financial stability report now, as per 2025 report, June 2025, what was the recorded gross national, gross NPA ratio of scheduled commercial bank in March 2025? Is it 0.5%, 1.2, 2.3, 2.6, or 3.9%? Which one is the one? Come on. Do not take much of time, please be quick in giving answers. Raj says C. Alright, so C is the correct answer. You can completely see when it comes on to SCBs, when it comes on to scheduled commercial banks, the gross NPA has fallen, that is to a multi-decade low, that is just 2.3% in March 2025 compared to the previous one. When I compare it with the 2024, so that was 2.6% in September 2024, now it has been decreased to 2.3. Next question says, According to the June 2025 FSR, which sector recorded the highest GNPA ratio among all credit segments here? Personal loan 1.2 percentage, agriculture 6.1, credit cards of PSBs 14.3, infrastructure 5.3 percentage. If it MSMEs 4.8 percentage, which one is the one? Again saying I want quick answers please, so that we can finish this particular video within 1 hour. Okay, Satyarth and Shraddha and Raj say C. Alright, B is the correct answer here, that is agriculture. That has contributed nearly 6.1 percentage. So this is something which is important. While if I talk about the personal loans, they had a lowest, that is 1.2 percentage only. This a question can come from in this way as well. Along with that, PSB credit card NPAs were high at 14.3 percentage, but agriculture as a whole had a largest contribution. So these are the options, or this is the explanation, entire explanation, which is very important. Next question says, in June 2025 FSR, what was the India's forex reserve position as of June 2025? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Because it includes many of them. And while considering imports, you people could have heard, or maybe you people could have prepared your option, you people could have prepared your static portion of imports as well. So it is very important to remember that what is the like what we have exactly to cover the imports here. Okay, I think most of the individuals says A. Good. So we are having USD 697.7 97.9 billion, that is covering more than 11 months of imports. So this is something which is very important. जहाँ पे भी notes बनाए हैं, इसको ये जो particular data है, that becomes important. The June 2025 FSR mentioned that write-offs were key driver of following NPAs. What was the write-offs of to the GNPA ratio of scheduled commercial banks in financial year 2025? 10.9 percentage, is it 29.5 percentage, 31.8 percentage, 38.7 percentage, or 46.4 percentage? Which one is the one? Okay, Harini says A. Alright, so C is the correct answer here. Always remember that when it comes on to this data, it has been increased to 31.8 percentage in financial year 2025, up from 29.5 percentage in financial year 2024. Very less chances that they will ask you questions specifically of 2024, but you people have to remember 2025 data, right? Next question says, as per RBI's stress tests in financial stability report June 2025, what could be the gross NPA ratio of scheduled commercial banks by March 2027 under adverse scenario 1? Is it 2.5 percentage, 5.3, 5.6, 14.2, if it's 17.0 percentage? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay, Raj says C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Anurag says B. Okay, so we are having multiple answers there. The correct answer here is C. Okay, so when it comes on to stress testing, it has been revealed, or the number that says here is 2.5 percentage under the baseline, could but it could reach to 5.6 percentage under the adverse scenario 1 and 5.3 percentage under adverse scenario 2. So we have prepared, or maybe I made questions specifically on 1. They can ask you question on 2 as well. So both of the aspects are important to remember. Next question says, the RBI announced that the interest rate on floating rate savings bond 2020 taxable FRSB 2020 will remain unchanged. What rate for December to July to December 2025? 7.50, 7.70, 8.05, 8.35, if it 8.50. Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? 10th question. Come on, Raj. All right. So C is the correct answer here, that is 8.5. You can clearly see the explanation that I have on the basis of what I have given you question. Alright, next question says, the interest rate of FRSB 2020 is benchmarked to which small savings scheme, and how much higher is it set? Is it Public Provident Fund 0.35 percentage, Kisan Vikas Patra 0.25 percentage, National Savings Certificate 0.35 percentage, Senior Citizen Savings Scheme 0.50 percentage, so Kanya Samriddhi Yojana 0.40 percentage? Which one is the one? 11th ka C? Alright, so the correct answer here is C only, which includes National Savings Certificate plus 0.35 is the correct answer here. Okay, next question says, what is the tenure of floating rate investment bonds 2020? 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, or for 10 years? Which one is the one? 12th question. I want quick answers, please. Anyone here who can answer this question? All right. So C is the correct answer here, which is 7 years. You can completely see that it has been issued for a fixed tenure, that is 7 years only, right? Right. C is the correct answer. The minimum investment is what is 1,000 and there is no maximum limit, right? So they can ask you question in another way also. Next question says in July 2025, RBI allowed voluntary pledge of gold and silver as a collateral for loans under which, in which sector? Is it housing and education, agriculture, MSME, infrastructure, real estate, export finance, export finance and trade credit, or only MSME loans? Which one is the one? Okay, Harini says B. Alright, B is the correct answer since these are the sectors which need support. So of course, accordingly, a kind of support has been provided to my agricultural sector as well as my MSME sector also to grow. According to RBI's July 2025 guidelines, collateral free loan for MSMEs are not applicable to which institution? Small finance banks, is it RRBs, cooperative banks, scheduled commercial banks, is it foreign banks with 20 plus branches, is it primary urban cooperative banks? Which one is the one? Okay, so most of the people say is A. Alright, B is the correct answer, that is regional rural banks and cooperative banks as well. So RBI has clarified that collateral free loan rules for MSMEs are not applicable to RRBs as well as cooperative banks also. So this is the correct answer. This is an exceptional case here. What is the revised collateral free loan limit for agriculture as well as allied activities effective from December 2024? 1 lakh, 1.6, 2 lakh, 5 lakh, or for 10 lakhs? Which one is the one? Okay, Harini says C. Alright, good. Alright, I think most of the people have given me the correct answer. The correct answer here is C, that is 2 lakh. So RBI has increased the collateral free limit for agriculture as well as allied activities also, right from 1.6 to 2 lakh in December 2024. So they can ask you a question in another way also, right? So as per RBI's revised rules, what is the maximum permissible loan to value ratio for gold, silver loans above 5 lakh? Is it 90%, 85%, 80, 75, if it's 70%? Which one is the one? Anyone who can give me the correct answer? Okay, Shraddha, Ankul and rest of the people says B. Alright, D is the correct answer, that is 75%, right? You can clearly see 85%, that is up to 2.5 lakh here, and 80%, 2.5 to 5 lakh, and 75%, that is above 5 lakh. So this, I have given you explanation of the rest of the things also, so maybe you can consider them as well. In July 2025, RBI granted scheduled bank status to payment bank under section 42(6)(a) of RBI Act 1934. Now with this, the bank became the 5th payment banks in India eligible to access facilities like MSF and LAF. Which bank is this? Paytm Payments Bank, Airtel Payment Bank, is it Jio Payments Bank, NSDL Payments Bank, FFNO Payments Bank? Which one is the one? Alright, so Uncle says D, right. So D is the correct answer here, and this is the information about the rest of the portion as well. Next question says, which of the following correctly describes the implication of a bank being granted scheduled bank status under RBI Act 1934? It can participate in the liquidity adjustment facility and borrow under the marginal standing facility. It becomes eligible for membership of clearing houses. It can access refinance facilities from RBI. It must maintain CRR with RBI, for all of the above. Which one is the one? Alright, so most of the people says E. Okay, E is the correct answer, which includes all of the above. Now, all of the above includes this information which I've already given to you people, right? So, as per RBI's provisional data, the gross NPA ratio of public sector banks fell from 9.11% in financial year 21 to which level in financial year 25? Is it 3.25%, 2.58%? Is it 2.95, 3.75, if 1.98%? Hi Madhur Jain, very good afternoon. So give me the correct answer of this particular question now. 19th one. I think most of the people say is B. Correct. B is the correct answer. That is 2.58%, right? So you can clearly see that GNP ratio has been declined from 9.11%, 6.16 lakh crore in financial year 2021 to 2.58%, that is 2.83 lakh crore in 2025 due to joint measure of Government of India as well as RBI also, right? So according to RBI's provisional data, the GNPA of scheduled commercial banks reduced PSBs it has, including PSBs, reduced from 10.36 lakh crore March 2018 to what amount by December 2024? Is it 6.2, 5.5, 4.45, 3.8, if 2.28, lakh crores here? Anyone here who can give me the correct answer? All right. So the correct answer here is C, that is 4.45 lakh crore, right? You can clearly see it has fallen sharply from 10.36 lakh crore in March 2018 to 4.45 lakh crore by December 2024. Okay. Next question says, as per RBI mandated practices for PSBs here, what is the minimum number of independent valuation reports required for assets worth 50 crore or more? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Which one is the one? I want quick answers, please. Is it A, B, C, D, E? All right. So the correct answer here is B, that is 2 only. You can clearly see the valuation for norms of transparency includes for assets worth 50 crore or above at least 2 independent valuation reports must be obtained. Next question says, in the RBI GNPA data that is 2025, the decline in PSB GNPA ratio in financial year 2025 was largely aided by which of the structural reforms? Is it SARFAESI Act amendments? Is it recovery of death and bankruptcy exchanges, deployment of stress management verticals, timely identification of potential defaults, if an increase in DRT threshold from 10 lakh to 20 lakhs? Come on, be very quick. Which one is the correct answer? Shraddha says B. All right. So D is the correct answer, that is timely identification of the potential defaults here. You can clearly see that it has reduced the fresh addition of NPAs by PSBs here, that is to below 1% of the standard advances in financial year 25, a major drop from 8.35 in 2018. So that is something which is important to consider, right? Next question says, the government's decision to raise the threshold for debt recovery tribunal, that is DRT cases, from 10 lakh to 20 lakh, primarily aimed at which of the following? Reducing the backlog of small ticket loan disputes, expanding scope of insolvency cases under IBC. Is it following NBFCs easier access to collateral securities, enabling faster resolution of retail NPAs that is below 20 lakhs? If we're creating specialized benches for large corporate defaults, which one is the one? Okay, so Shraddha says C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? All right, A is the correct answer, that is reducing backlog of small ticket loan disputes. So we are going in a quick manner. So I'm giving you this explanation only. I'm not explaining the rest of the portion as well. So according to this RBI, what was the value of financial inclusion index, that is FI index, in March 2025? Is it 62.5? Is it 64.2, 65.8, 67, if it's 69.1? Which one is the one? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Is it A, B, C, D, E? All right, so I think most of the people are answering here D. Good. 67 is the correct answer here. When I talk about the financial inclusion index, it has rose by 4.3% in financial year 2025. High chances the question can be asked in this particular portion, right? Increasing from 64.2 in March 2024 to 67 in March 2025. That is reflecting a steady progress as well as growth here. Okay. Explanation is not what I am going here, because this is a kind of class where we are revising only. ठीक है, तो हिंदी में भी मैं बोल दूंगी, but मैं पूरा question हिंदी में नहीं बोल सकती हूँ. ठीक है, तो जो explanation है वो भी सिर्फ numbers के terms में है. अगर कुछ ऐसा लगेगा कि कुछ scheme होगी वो उसको explain करना होगा, so of course I'll do that, but otherwise this is a kind of revision session only which I have to complete within 1 hour. And this is this is the series, or maybe we are covering question that is more than 200 questions, right? So 100 जो questions है वो एक class में हुए थे, 200 जो questions है वो दूसरे class में हुए थे. Now we have started with 301st question and we'll go till 400th question. So that is why it is important, right? Time is also important here. So which of the following statements regarding RBI's financial inclusion index is incorrect here? It was introduced in August 2021 for the financial year ending March 2021. March 2021. Here it is a composite index. I think most of the people have already given me answers. Okay, so I am Payal. I take your ESI classes, right? If you're preparing for this regulatory exam. All right, so I think most of the people are answering here E, but the correct answer here is C, right? The FI index, financial inclusion index, is constructed on a scale It is on a scale from 0 to 100 here, where 0 means full financial inclusion and 100 means complete exclusion. So that is what is an explanation which is required. Now, this completely says that which of the following statements is incorrect regarding the RBI's digital payments index is incorrect here. Now tell me, is RBI DPA stood at 493.22 in March 2025, up from 465.33 in September 2024. The index captures the extent of digital payment adoption across India and was first published by RBI in 2018. RBI DPI uses March 2018 as a base year, as a base period with a score of 100. Among its 5 components specifically, payment enables carry a weight of 25%, while consumer centricity carries 5%. The index recorded 65,000 crore of transactions worth about 120 trillion between 2020 and 2025. Alright, so I think most of the people are answering here C. Okay, B is the correct answer. So the index captures the extent of digital payment adoption across India and was first published by RBI in 2018, right? So remember this explanation. According to RBI's investment in AIF directions 2025, what is the maximum total contribution that has been allowed by all of the regulatory entities to a single AIF scheme? Is it 10%, 15, 20, 25, if 30%? Which one is the one? Okay, Harini says A. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Alright, so C is the correct answer here, which is 20%, right? You can clearly see when it comes on to cap here, so the RBI has been capped with the total contribution that is from REs, that is 20% only of the corpus of a single AIF scheme to prevent misuse of AIF to the evergreening loans, right? Next question says which of the following entities cannot exceed 10% of investment in the total corpus of a single AIF under RBI's 2025 directions? Is it non-banking or NBFCs? Is it commercial banks? Is it AIFIs? Is it regulatory, this regional rural banks? Is it all of the above? Which one is the correct answer? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay, so I think most of the people are answering here E. Anyone else? Alright, so the correct answer here is E, which is again all of the above. So this is an explanation part which I have already told you and which I have already mentioned in the question as well. Next question says, under RBI's 2025 AIF investment framework, if a regulated entity invests over 5% in an AIF which then invests here in its debtor company, the RE must be what? Is it sell its unit immediately? Is it make 50% of the provisioning? Is it make 100% of the provisioning equivalent to the indirect exposure? Make no provisioning? If it reduce exposure to 5% only? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay, Raj says E, and okay, so I think most of the people are answering here C. Correct. C is the correct answer, that is make 100% provisioning, that is equivalent to indirect exposure. So this is an explanation about it. What is the primary objective behind RBI capping investment limits in AIFs for banks as well as NBFCs? Is it to return or maybe to increase returns from AIFs to promote more investment in equity markets? Is it to prevent misuse of AIFs for evergreening loans, to allow only NBFCs to invest freely, if it to reduce competition among AIFs? Those individuals who are explaining, or maybe those individuals who are demanding your explanation, if you want explanation, you can see my previous videos, that is specifically on monthly MCQs, monthly GA, monthly PIB. But this is a kind of session where I have to go in speed, right? This is a kind of revision session only. So ये थोड़ा सा speed में चलेंगे क्योंकि we have to cover 1000 plus question. So किसी भी अगर एक्सप्लेस में कहीं भी doubt है, so you can see our other classes, you can see our previous classes where each and every concept is already done, right? All right, next the correct answer to this particular question is to prevent misuse of AIFs to for evergreening of loans, right? So this is an explanation part of it. Next question says, SEBI in collaboration with NSE has launched the Samuhik Prativedan Manch effective August 1st, 2025. What is the primary objective of this particular platform? Is it to enable high frequency of trading for brokers? Is it to unify and simplify the compliance reporting for stock brokers? To allow brokers to trade directly with the foreign stock exchanges? To provide tax filing services for stock brokers? Therefore, to introduce a new derivatives trading platform. Which one is the one? Okay, so Shraddha says B, and I think most of the people are answering here B. Correct. B is the correct answer. So you can clearly see when it comes on to SEBI's this particular munch, it's a kind of centralized compliance whose reporting platform that aims to streamline, simplify the entire process and to make the reporting process go in a more transparent manner. So this is what is the entire thing about. Along with that, and cost effective for the, it is of course cost effective for the brokers as well, just to make it cost effective, right? SEBI in collaboration with stock exchanges revised the enhanced surveillance mechanism in July 2025. Which of the following statements correctly describes the scope of this revision? Is it targets companies with market centralization that is above 10,000 crores. It focuses on improving oversight of small and micro cap firms with a market stabilization under 1,000 crore. It applies exclusively to mid-cap companies that is listed on NSE. It is meant to increase the dividend payout for companies under the surveillance. It is introduced automated trading system for small cap funds. Which one is the one? Okay, so I think most of the people are answering here B. Correct. B is the correct answer. So this is the rest of the explanation about it, right? Next question says the Green Climate Fund, that is GCF, established under UNFCCC in 2010 primarily aims to which of the following? Is it to provide the financial assistance only for renewable energy projects in developing nations, to support developing nations specifically in both limiting greenhouse gas emission and adapting the to the climate change impacts as well? Third option says to fund climate adaptation projects that is exclusively in small island developing states, regulate and monitor all climate related projects in developed and developing nations. If it serve as a mechanism specifically to enforce emission targets under Paris Agreement. Which one is the one? I think most of the people are answering here B. All right. So B is the correct answer. The explanation is there given in the question only, right? So you can go from, you can go through it. Next question says in a forward market agreement, that is FRA, which of the following statement is correct? FRA obliges the bank to sell bonds at a fluctuating interest rate in the future. LIC takes on interest risk while bank receives a premium as a compensation. FRAs are designed exclusively to speculate on foreign exchange movements. Banks reduce risk in an FRA by buying long-term bonds matching the FRA's maturity period. If FRAs require immediate purchase and settlement of bonds at the contract date. Which one is the one? All right, so most of the people are answering here B. Okay, D is the correct answer. You can clearly see that banks manage interest rate risk in FRA by purchasing long-term bonds that align with the FRA's maturity, ensuring that exposure to fluctuating rates is specifically minimized. That is what is the significance here. Which fintech company launched India's first UPI-powered bank branch that, along with the UPI credit card in June 2025, payment financial services, phone pay, is it Slice, is it Razor Pay or Bharat Pay? Which one is the one? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay. I think most of the people are answering here C. Good. C is the correct answer. So Slice is the one who's been, who has launched the UPI credit card and opened the India's first UPI powered bank branch specifically in Koramangala, Bengaluru. That is marking a significant milestone in fintech innovation in India, right? Next question says which UAE bank became the first to receive in principle approval from IFSCA to set up an IFSC banking unit in Gift City. Is it Emirates NBD, Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank? Is it Mashreq Bank? Is it first Abu Dhabi Bank or Dubai Islamic Bank? Which one is the one? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay, so I think most of the people are answering here C. Okay, C is the correct answer. You can clearly see the rest of the explanatory part as well. Next question says which two countries are linked through UPI Pay Now services for cross-border payments? Is it India, UAE? Is it India, Singapore, India, USA, India, France, or India, Japan? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay, Satyat says 37th ka B. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Sangam says B. Anyone else? Alright, so B is the correct answer, which is India and Singapore, right? You can clearly see when it comes on to UPI Pay, now it's a kind of joint initiative that is between RBI as well as MAS, that is Monetary Authority of Singapore. So they can ask you a question in another way also, that UPI Pay now is a joint initiative between whom? So the correct answer here is RBI as well as MAS, okay? And this is a function that I've already told you. Next question says, which bank became the first one to set up an international banking unit in GIFT City in 2015? ICICI Bank? Is it State Bank of India, Yes Bank, HDFC Bank, or Axis Bank? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Harini says B. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Raj also says B, Satyat also says B, Shraddha also says B. Okay, C is the correct answer, which is Yes Bank. So Yes Bank is the one. Yes Bank is the one who have achieved the distinction of being the first bank to establish an international bank unit IBU in GIFT City in 2015. So you can clearly remember that, right? Next question says, which company launched India's first fully AI powered platform, that is Next Banking, in July 2025? Paytm Payments Bank, PhonePe, is it Laravel Private Limited, Razorpay, or Pine Labs? Which one is the one? Okay, Sangam says C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Satyat also says C. Alright, C is the correct answer. You can clearly see with the leadership of CTO Anvesh Tiwari, who launched Next Banking as a kind of fully AI-driven tech platform, which is integrated over 50 financial APIs such as AEPs, BPPs, and micro ATM as well, right? Next question says, under the government of India's One State, One RRB policy, how many regional rural banks remain in India? How many regional rural banks remain in India after phase 4 amalgamation effective from May 1st, 2025? Is it 43, 56, 28, 82, or 19? Alright, so this is not something a magic that has been done, Sangam. It's a kind of news that is there. So, considering this news becomes important, right? Alright, so I think most of the people have given me the correct answer. That is C, that is 28, right? So you can clearly see that the RRBs, and this is not specific from the aspect of phase 1 only, high chances, specifically those individuals who are preparing for NABARD, specifically, a kind of this question can be asked, right? I think Manat ma'am ne practice करवाया है RRB का, so उस perspective से भी important रहता है, ठीक है? So phase 2 के लिए भी एक बार अच्छे से prepare कर लेना. Next question says, choose the incorrect statement here. That is regarding the government of India's regional rural bank consolidation under One State, One RRB policy. Now this is about phase 1, right? From 2005 till 2010, reduced RRBs from 196 to 82 by amalgamation of RRBs of the same sponsor banks within states. Next, phase 2 says 12 to 14. This is what this option says. Reduced RRBs right from 82 to 56. Phase 3 2019, reduced RRBs from 56 to 43. Fourth phase, reduced 43 to 28 across 26 states, and 2 UTs that is going to be effective from that has gone effective from May 1st, 2025. The One State, One RRB principle is guided by NABARD under the Ministry of Agriculture. Which one is the incorrect one? Anurag says E. Okay, E is the incorrect one here, because it a kind of initiative, or maybe when it comes on to this particular aspect, so it is led by Department of Financial Services, that is DFS, okay. Ministry of Finance is the one, and not the NABARD. This is a kind of regulatory body that we are having. Next question says, which Indian bank launched the country's first biometric authentication solution for e-commerce card transaction on July 24th, 2025? HDFC Card, ICICI Federal Bank, Axis Bank, if a Kotak Mahindra Bank. Which one is the one? Satyat says C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Alright, so C is the correct answer, that is Federal Bank, right? So I think we have done this already. हमने शायद PIB में भी इसको पहले भी question को करा था, है ना? Alright, next question says, in July 2025, which organization launched BSE Insurance Index that is derived from constituents of the BSE 1000 index classified under the insurance sector? NSE Asia Index Private Limited, SEBI, is it BSE directly, or RBI? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay, Satyat says B. Uncle says D. Anurag also says D. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Okay, almost everyone has given me D as a correct answer. Okay. Okay, Satyat has given me the correct answer here. And Yes, Harini, this is B only, right? Asia Index Private Limited. Okay, so this is what is the explanation about it. Next question says in July 2025 specifically, Grow Mutual Fund launched India's first powered focus passive investment. Which stock is associated with India's first powered focused ETF and FOF launched by Grow MF in July 2025? Is it NSE, BSE, MCX? Is it NC DEX? Is it IEX? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Which one is the one? Alright, so B is the correct answer, that is BSE, right? Next question says, according to RBI's India's External Debt Status Report 2025, now this says that India's external debt at end of March 2025 stood at what? Is it $668.8 billion, $736.3 billion, $712, is it $601.9 billion, if it's $745 billion? Which one is the correct answer? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Alright, so B is the correct answer, which is $736.3 billion, right? Now, if I talk about the previous one, if I compare it with the 2024 March data only, so, previous year, we see it, it was at $668.8 billion. Now, it has been increased to 736. So, we can clearly see that there is a rise by 10% here, right? Now, they can ask you a question on this also, they can ask you a question in this also. So, prepare for that, right? Next question says, as per RBI's index, India's external debt status report 2025, what is the India's external debt to GDP ratio at the end of March 2025? Is it 18.5%? Is it 18.9%? 19.1? 20.1? If it's 17.8%, which one is the one? Come on, be very quick. 46th answer. Which one is the one? Alright, so C is the correct answer, that is 19.1%, right? If you see the case of 2024, it was 18.15%. Now it has been increased to 19.1%. Next question says that which currency accounted for the largest share of India's external debt at the end of March 2025? Is it Indian rupee, Japanese yen, US dollar, euro, or SDR, special drawing rights? C, alright. So C, that is very obvious to consider, accounting for 54.2% of the total external debt, right? Next question says, according to this report, which component had India's largest in India's external debt composition at the end of March 2025? Debt securities, loans, currency and deposits, trade credit advances, or government borrowings. Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Alright. So, यहाँ पे B becomes the correct answer, that is loans, right? You can clearly see that is accounting for 34% of total external debt. So, they can ask you question from this aspect also. It is important to remember. Next question says, choose the incorrect statement regarding this particular, report here. India's external debt rose to $736.3 billion at the end of March 2025. The external debt increased to 19.1% only. Short-term debt accounted for 18.3% of the total external debt. The largest currency component of India's external debt was euro, accounting for 31.1%. Loans formed here the largest share of external debt, contributing to 34 of the total. So I think अगर किसी को याद होगा या फिर पीछे जो questions हमने करे वो अच्छे से करे तो याद होगा. All right. So I think most of the people are answering. You have to tell me the incorrect one. Okay, so D is the incorrect one here. We have seen that the largest one is US dollar and not euros, right? So this is what is the significance, and you can clearly see that the data here which is associated with the US dollar is 54.2%, and when it comes on to Indian rupee, that is 31.1%. Euro share is what? That is 3.2%. So maybe a question can come from this aspect also. So one report we have seen, one question, वो भी आ सकता है, यहाँ से भी question बन सकता है, यहाँ से भी question बन सकता है, और यहाँ से भी question जो है वो separate बन सकता है, ठीक है? Next question says, according to CRISIL's July 2025 revision, what is India's projected GDP growth rate for financial year 26? Is it 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, or 6.7%? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay. So again we are having multiple answers. Correct. D is the correct answer, that is 6.5%. Next question says, as per NSE data, which of the following correctly represents the order of states crossing 1 crore of stock market investors? Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, या फिर Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra. Which one is the one? Come on, be very quick. 50th ka D. All right. So C is the correct answer, which is Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat. When it comes on to Maharashtra, it is the first one, Uttar Pradesh is the second one, and then we are having Gujarat, that is the third one, right? To cross 1 crore of stock market investors. Next question says, according to July 2025 data, which one of the following represents the order of the world's top 3 companies by market capitalization? Is it Apple, Microsoft, NITI India? Is it Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, या फिर Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, या फिर Apple, Nvidia, या फिर Microsoft? Which one is the one? You have to tell me in proper ranks, right? C. Okay. D is the correct answer, and you can clearly see the ranks as well, followed by Microsoft, which is at 3.75 trillion US dollars, and Apple at what? That is 3.17 trillion dollars here. Okay. Next question says, according to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry trade statistics for June 2025, what was the India's overall trade deficit for the month here? Is it 7.30 billion, 3.51 billion, 20.3 billion, 11 billion, या फिर 5.25 billion? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay, Harini says D. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? So B is the correct answer here. You can clearly see when it comes on to the India's overall deficit here from for the July 2025 specifically has been narrowed by sharply to 3.51 billion compared to the previous one that used to be 7.30 billion in June 2024. Next question says, according to Ministry of Commerce and Industry trade statistics Q1 financial year 26, by approximately what percentage did India's services exports grow? Is it 9.4%, 11, 7.3, 20, or 15%? Which one is the one? Okay, Sangam says A. All right. So B is the correct answer, that is 11% here. Okay. Next question says, according to Ministry of Commerce and this particular data, which of the following statements is true regarding the India's top trading partners here? China is the India's largest export destination and also among the top 3 import sources. Kenya is the one is among India's top 5 import sources. The US is the one. The USA accounts for the largest share of India's exports in China. Ireland is among the India's top 5 export destinations. Brazil accounts for more than 25% of the India's exports. I think most of the people are answering here C. Good. C is the incorrect one. Of course, how can we expect China as one of the destinations that is export rich? Okay, so this is one of the answers, and this is the explanation part as well, right? So according to Ministry of Commerce and Industry data June 2025, which export sector witnessed the highest growth? Marine products, tobacco, electronics, tea, or chemicals? Which one is the one? Okay. All right. So C is the correct answer, that is electronics. For what? That is 47.1% to US dollars, that is 12.4 billion. Okay, so they can ask you in this way also. ठीक है, हो सकता है कि वो इस तरीके से क्वेश्चन जो है वो पूछे जाए या फिर नंबर्स में जो क्वेश्चन है वो पूछ ले. सो ये सारी जो चीजें हैं वो भी याद रखनी है. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन सेज, ऑन इट्स 44th फाउंडेशन डे NABARD launched Nivaran. That is, what is the purpose, or what is the purpose of Nivaran here? Nivaran means what? Solution देना. To provide crop insurance to farmers, to offer digital platform for rural startups, to serve as an internal grievance redressal system for rural cooperative banks, to provide direct lending to microfinance institution, to facilitate training programs for this agricultural labor. Okay, Shraddha says C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Correct. C is the correct answer here. Now this is the rest of the aspects which are related to it. Next question says, Rural Tech Collab that has been launched by NABARD primarily aims which of the following? Provide financial literacy programs for youth, for the urban youth, facilitates startups, research institutes and tech developers to co-create rural-centric technologies, monitor credit defaults, that is rate of rural cooperative banks, issue government bank bonds, if we offer issuance insurance products to farmer, that is farmer producer organization, that is known as FPOs as well. So I think most of the people are answering here B. Alright, B is the correct answer, that is facilitating startups, research institutions, tech developers to co-create rural-centric technologies. And this is what is the rest of the information that is all related to it. Next question says the GRIP initiative that has been launched by NABARD targets which group? Urban entrepreneurs seeking bank loans, ultra-poor rural households for livelihood interventions, large farmers for crop diversification, MSMEs in semi-urban areas, if a banking sector employees for skill development. Which one is the one? Okay, Ankul says B. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Alright, B is the correct answer, that is ultra poor rural households for livelihoods here. They can ask you a question on what is the full form of GRIP as well. So this is nothing, graduated rural income generation program. So this is something which is important, which all talks about their livelihood, and this is a kind of initiative which has been taken to support them. Next question says which NABARD initiative uses media like AIRF, All India Radio and Community Radio Networks to spread awareness on savings, creditworthiness as well as insurance also. Is it Nivaran? Is it Rural Tech Collab, GRIP, radio jingle for financial inclusion, NABARD WhatsApp channel? Which one is the one? Okay, 60th ka D. Alright, D is the correct answer, that is the radio jingle for financial inclusions, right? Now, this is a kind of interesting channel they've opened, and specifically it is very interesting for the listeners as well. Next question says according to ADB's Asian Development Outlook, that is ADO July 2025 report, what is the India's revised GDP growth forecast for financial year 2025? Is it 6%? Is it 6.5, 6.7, 7, or 7.2%? Which one is the one? Okay, Anurag says B. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Correct. B is the correct answer. That is 6.5% only. You can clearly see the slower growth amid tariffs as well as uncertainties. What is expected here has been revised. India's GDP growth forecast for financial year 2025 downwards from the previous estimate that used to be 6.7% only, but now it has been 6.5%. Okay, so this is what is important to remember. Next question says the IMF raised India's GDP growth forecast to 6.4% for financial year 26-27 in its World Economic Outlook that has been updated July, or maybe update July 2025. What is the main reason that cited the IMF by the IMF for its upward revision? Is it a sharp decline in domestic inflation, stronger than expected front loading? Is it large scale government borrowing in India, reduction in India's fiscal deficit, if a surge in India's export to the EU? Okay, most of the people are answering here B. Good. B is the correct answer, and this is the next of the explanation that is all related to it. Who launched My Bharat platform, and what is the primary purpose here? Ministry of Education to provide online school education, Department of Youth Affairs specifically, which is on the to engage and mobilize India's youth, Ministry of Finance to promote financial literacy among the youth, Ministry of Electronics to develop digital infrastructure in rural areas, if it to Ministry of Health to spread awareness about the health programs. All right. So I think Mukund has argued on like in one of the questions, right? As far as I am able to decode here. All right. So the correct answer here is B, that is Department of Youth Affairs to engage and mobilize the India's youth. So maybe they can ask you a question in another way as well, right? Which two countries are exploring collaboration in green steel and high trade aluminium? Aluminium, sorry. Is it India and China? Is it India and UAE? India and Japan? India and Saudi Arabia? Or India and South Korea? Okay, got it. Which one is the one? Satyat says B. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Alright, so B is the correct answer, that is India and UAE only, right? Next question says India signed a pact with which country for joint undersea surveillance research? USA, is it Australia, Japan, UK, or Canada? Which one is the one? I want quick answers, please. Is it A, B, C, D, E? Alright, so the correct answer here is B, that is Australia. Okay, you can clearly see the explanatory part as well. Next question says, now what is the main purpose of the weather derivatives that is being launched by NCDEX in collaboration with IMD? Is it to trade with international weather data, to provide farmers specifically and elite sector as a tool to manage climate related risk, to predict global temperature changes, to regulate year rainfall patterns in India, or to fund infrastructure projects in meteorology? Which one is the one? Okay, Mukund says B. Alright, so I think most of the people have answered here B only. Good. B is the correct answer. Next question says, which organization did Map My India partner with to integrate the DigiPin platform into its Mapples app? Is it RBI? Is it National Informatics, Informatics Center? Is it India Post, that is Department of Post only, Ministry of Electronics, and IIT-FS Survey of India? Which one is the one? Satyat says C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? I think most of the people have given me the correct answer. Good. So C is the correct answer, although I've covered it in my PIB only. So जिसको भी doubt होगा वो PIB को भी एक बार जरूर revise कर लेना, ठीक है? PPTs are there with you. So the government of Odisha has partnered with SkyMet Weather Services to implement the WINS project that aims to strengthening the weather monitoring here in the state. Which of the following is a key feature of the WINS project? Installation of automatic weather stations at a block level and automatic rain gauges at Gram Panchayat level, provision of direct financial subsidies to farmers affected by drought, construction of large-scale irrigation dams, launch of a private weather mobile application, if a promotion of solar irrigation pumps here. Okay, so I think most of the people have answered here A, right? A is the correct answer, and this is the explanatory part of it. Next question says, in which state, in which Indian state specifically was Hyundai HTWO Innovation Center launched? Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra, or Andhra Pradesh? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Come on, be very quick. Which one is the correct answer? Correct. So B, that is Tamil Nadu, is the correct answer. They can ask you about the Chennai as well, right? That is located in Chennai. Maybe they can give you answers, or maybe they can give you question in another way as well, right? So now tell me, Space TS is partnering with which of the company to develop India's first indigenous quantum secure satellite? Is it ISRO? Is it Synergy Quantum India, HAL, or is it SpaceX, or DRDO? Which one is the one? Okay, I want quick answers now, please. Which one is the one? Satyat says B. All right, so B is the correct answer. That is Synergy Quantum India, right? You can clearly see it's India Private Limited to build India's first indigenous quantum secure satellite. Next question says, which India Union Territory signed Memorandum of Understanding with Bhashini here to promote multilingual digital governance? Delhi, Puducherry, Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, or Daman and Diu? Which one is the one? Okay, 71st का B. Okay, Puducherry is the correct answer, right? भाषिनी सभी को पता है कि यह integrated tool है जो कि translation के लिए help करता है, ठीक है? Next question says, which India company collaborated with Telecom Egypt to launch a national digital healthcare platform in Egypt specifically? Is it Infosys, TCS, is it Care Experts, Wipro, or TCL Technologies? Which one is the one? Come on, be very quick. Is it A, B, C, D, E? Shraddha says C. Okay, so C is the correct answer, right? Next question says, where was the startup, Sundowner event under the UAE India SEPA Startup Series held? Is it ITC Grand Chola Chennai, Taj Mahal? Is it St. Regis? Is it Oberoi New Delhi? Or Leela Palace Bangalore? Which one is the one? Shraddha says C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Alright, so C is the correct answer. Okay, you can clearly see the rest of the information as well. Next question says, now this is a question on Talash initiative which we've already done, and you people have to give me the correct answer. Initiative for tribal students is a joint effort of NEST and which of the organization? Is it UNESCO, UNICEF India? Is it NCRT? Is it Ministry of Education? Or AICTE? Which one is the one? 74th question. You people should have an answer. Right. Correct. B is the correct answer here, right? Next question says, what does acronym Talash stand for in the context of the initiative for Eklavya Model Residential School tribal students here? Is it tribal training, aptitude, leadership, achievement, skill, hope, tribal aptitude, skill, life skill and self-esteem hub, talent acquisition and learning for academic success hub, tribal awareness, learning and skill hub, if it none of the above, if it not? Which one is the one? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Alright, B is the correct answer. Good. Next question says, in July 2025, the UAE India SEPA Council signed a memorandum of understanding with which of the following institutions to boost startup ties? IIT Delhi's Atal Incubation Center. Is it Atal Incubation Center, Mahamana Foundation for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, BHU? Is it IIM Ahmedabad? NIFF Startup India Foundation? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay, 76th ka B. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Alright, the correct answer here is B. Okay, you can see the rest of the explanation as well. Next question says the primary aim of Bima Sakhi Yojana promoted through LIC DORD partnership is to what? Provide crop insurance to farmers, expand life insurance awareness and coverage among, in the rural area specifically, offer expensions to senior citizens, facilitate microfinance loans, to promote digital payments in villages. Which one is the one? 77th ka B, since this talks about LIC, so the correct answer here is specifically B. Okay. Next question says India has signed different types of trade agreements with various countries, each varying in scope and coverage. Consider the following statements. FTA maintains a negative list of products and services on which preferential terms do not apply. SEPA includes negotiation on trade in goods, services, investment and regulatory issues. CESA is more comprehensive than SEPA. Framework agreement primarily define the orientation and scope of the potential future trade agreements and set periods for liberalization as well. Which one is the correct answer? Mukund says B, Satyat says D. Alright, so A is the correct answer, which talks about 1, 2 and 4 here. Okay. When it comes on to FTA, it maintains a negative list of the products and services that is excluded from the external preferential treatment. B is the correct one here. Third one is what it says is as incorrect, and fourth is also the correct one. So the correct answer here is 1, 2 and 4. Next question says in July 2025, DPIIT signed memorandum of understanding with which of the Indian EV manufacturer to boost clean mobility and advanced manufacturing here? Is it Ola Electric? Is it Ather Energy, Tata Motors, Mahindra Electric, or Hero Electric? Which one is the one? Okay, Ankul says 79th ka B. Good. B is the correct answer, which includes Ather Energy, right? Now this is an rest of the explanatory part about it. Again, telling you, हो सकता है कि बाकी में से question आ जाए, हो सकता है जो question हमने बनाया उसमें से question आए, but बाकी में से question पूछा जाए, so everything is important here, right? Next question says in June 2025, Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav chaired the 21st chairing committee meetings of Project Elephant at Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy in Dehradun, bringing together officials, scientists and experts from elephant range states to review conservation initiatives. In which year was Project Elephant officially launched? 1987, 1990, 1992, 1995, if it 2000. Which one is the one? Okay, so the correct answer here is C, right? When it comes on to Project Elephant, it's a kind of central sponsored scheme, so maybe they can ask you a question on this as well. Okay, which kind of scheme it is? This is centrally sponsored scheme. It was established in 1992. The 22nd Defense Minister meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, that is SCO, was held in Qingdao, China in June 2025 under China's chairmanship. Who led the Indian delegation, marking the first visit by Indian Defence Minister to China since the Galwan Valley Clash 2020. Okay, of course, the laser eye is not, of course, the correct answer. Now tell me, is Jaishankar ji, Rajnath Singh, Nirmala Sitharaman, Bhupendra Yadav, or Piyush Goyal? Okay. Okay, most of the people say is B. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Alright, so B is the correct answer. I have mentioned here already, that is about the defense minister, right, and not laser eye man. Next question says the 22nd SCO defense ministers meeting was held in Qingdao, China in June 2025. Where is the next SCO defense minister meeting scheduled to be held in 2026? India, China, Kyrgyz Republic, Russia, or Uzbekistan? Which one is the correct answer? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Alright, so C is the correct answer, which is Kyrgyz Republic, right? They can ask you basic information about SCO as well, ठीक है? SCO का बहुत ज़्यादा basic information भी पूछा जा सकता है. So I'll do one thing, I'll share one PDF and maybe one article with all of you where every information will be written, right? I've made one PPT by myself also. I wanted to take class, but since I'm not well, so I was not able to. But I'll ensure that I'll share that PPT या फिर कुछ article वगैरह compile करके I'll share that particular thing with you, right? Next question says SCO was established in 2001 by 6 founding countries. Which of the following countries was not a founding country of the SCO here? Kazakhstan, India, China, Russia, or Uzbekistan? Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Alright, so B is the answer here. You can clearly see SCO is the one who was founded in 2001 in Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyz Republic, Russia, Tajikistan, as well as Uzbekistan also, right? India joined it later. That was in 2017 only, along with Pakistan. So this is what is the significance here. Now, where was the UN Group of Friends, that is GOF, meeting on accountability of for crimes against peacekeepers, co-chaired by India in July 2025 held? That is Geneva, Switzerland, New York, USA, Paris, France, Vienna, Austria, या फिर the Hague, this Netherlands. Which one is the one? Okay, Satyat says E. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? All right, B is the correct answer. That is New York, right? When it comes on to this meeting that held at United Nations headquarters in New York, USA, where India co-chaired the session. Next question says, who chaired the 17th BRICS Summit held from July 6 to 7, 2025 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil? Is it Russia, India, Brazil, China, or South Africa? Who chaired the 17th BRICS meeting? Anurag says C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Anyone else who wants to answer this question? All right, this Brazil is the correct answer, right? Next question, say they can ask you one question on the president as well. So this explanation is also very important. Which of the following was not part of the 4-point BRICS agenda proposed by India at 17th BRICS Summit? Is it demand-driven financing by NDP? Is it securing critical mineral supply chains, Global South Science Repository, ethical AI governance under AI for all, establishment of BRICS cryptocurrency? Which one is the one? Exactly. Which one is the one? All right, so E is the correct answer, which is establishment of the BRICS cryptocurrency here. Next question says, which India initiative, which initiative was launched under the BRICS CCI Women Empowerment vertical during the 17th BRICS Summit here? Is it Women in Energy, WISE, BRICS Women Health Initiative? Is it VOLAI, or for Women Leadership in AI, or for Women in this Global Women Network? Which one is the one? क्लास है बाद में करते हो. Hello, oh sorry. Okay, so which one is the one? V-Wine? All right, so B is the correct answer, right? Next question says, which city will host in 18th BRICS Summit in 2026 here? Is it Beijing? Is it New Delhi, Moscow, Rio de Janeiro, या फिर is it Johannesburg? Which one is the one? Anurag says 88th का D. Okay, anyone else who wants to answer this question? Anyone else who wants to answer this question? All right, B is the correct answer. That is New Delhi here. Okay. Okay, B is the correct answer here. Next question says, which country became first Southeast Asia member of BRICS in January 2025? Thailand, Vietnam, is it Indonesia, Malaysia, or Philippines? I want quick answers, please. Is it A, B, C, D, E? Come on, be very quick. Is it A, B, C, D, E? Ankul says 89th ka C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Anyone else who wants to answer this question? All right, C is the correct answer, which is Indonesia, who officially joined BRICS in January 2025, right? So total members become also very important. Next question says, who inaugurated Youth Spiritual Summit held in Varanasi in July 2025? Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, Bhupendra Yadav, Mansukh, is it Rajnath Singh, or Nitin Gadkari? Which one is the one? E20 minister, right? Which one is the one? Okay, Satyat says C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? All right, so C is the correct answer here, right? This is the next of the information about it. Next question says, 2025 Bonn Climate Change Conference, that is SB62, primarily aimed for which of the following? Draft legally binding global climate adaptation targets independent of the Paris Agreement, discuss mobilization of finance for climate action and define common global adaptation goal here, limit greenhouse gas specifically exclusively in the developing countries. Is it to establish a kind of global carbon credit this trading platform, to replace all of the existing national schemes, if mandate uniform climate policies across UNFCCC member nations? Okay, Anurag says B. All right, B is the correct answer. This is the next of the explanation about it. Next question says, although included in the Paris Agreement 2015, the global goal on adoption gained momentum at which event? Is it COP 26, 27, 28, 29, if it's 30? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Come on, 90-second question. Okay, uncle says C. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Okay, C is the correct answer here. And COP28, which specifically held at Dubai, right? Which of the following best captures the purpose of 2025 Bonn Climate Change Conference, that is known as SB62 as well, to replace UNFCCC negotiations with a new global climate year? Is it to convene government delegates and stakeholders specifically to discuss about the climate finance, to implement binding of this global carbon pricing mechanism and universal climate policy standards, to finalize a worldwide treaty for emission reduction only in the developed nations, if to discuss an adaptation kind of thing, measures only for the island nations threatened by the sea level rise? Which one is the one? Okay, so I think most of the people are answering here B. Good. B is the correct answer. Next question says, at SB62, you people have to tell me India and developing countries demanded the formal inclusion of which article of the Paris Agreement to address climate change, this climate finance accountability? Article 2.1, 4.3, 9.1, 6.2, F 13.1 here. Which one is the one? Come on. All right, B. Okay. Okay, I think so that says E, right? Not B. Okay, so C is the correct answer, which is 9.1, article 9.1 here. Okay, next question says, which of the following statements about leadership rotation in BIMSTEC is correct? Is it leadership is held permanently by the largest economy among the member states? Leadership rotates based on the alphabetical order of the country's name. Leadership rotates every 5 years according to the GDP ranking. Leadership is assigned to the host of the latest BIMSTEC summit. If leadership is decided through voting process by all of the member states here. Easy to answer, right? 95th ka B, 95th ka A. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? Alright, B is the correct answer, that is alphabetic order here. ठीक है? I think हमने static portion में भी complete करा है. Next question says, which Indian state won IESA Industry Excellence Award 2025 for state leadership in battery manufacturing? Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Gujarat या फिर Maharashtra? Which one is the one? Which one is the one? So that says D. Alright. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? C is the correct answer, which is Telangana. Okay. This is rest of the information about it. Next question says, where was 4th International Conference on Financing for Development, that is FFD4, held from June 30th to July 3rd of 2025? Is it New York City, USA? Is it Geneva, Switzerland, Sevilla, Spain, Paris, France, or Vienna, Austria? Which one is the one? Come on, be very quick. 97th one. Alright, so A. Okay. Anyone else who wants to answer this question? C is the correct answer here. ठीक है? बाकी जो information है खुद देख लेना एक बार. ये जो participants ये भी important है, head of states and government भी important है, and this entire explanation part is important here. Next question says, according to Institute of Economics and Peace Global Peace Index, that is GPI 2025, which country is ranked as the least peaceful here? Ukraine, Yemen, Russia, Democratic Republic of Congo, or for Sudan? Which one is the one? Is it A, B, C, D, E? All right. So C is the correct answer here, that is Russia, right? अब यहाँ पे सिर्फ रशिया ही important नहीं है, ग्लोबल पीस इंडेक्स में जो बाकी कंट्रीज है उनकी रैंकिंग भी important है, ठीक है? सो एक बार इंडिया की रैंकिंग, बाकी जो कंट्रीज की रैंकिंग है एक बार वो भी देख लेना. Now, which Indian state secured the highest position in management effective evaluation, that is MEE report 2020 to 2025 for the national parks and wildlife sanctuaries that has been released by this particular minister? Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, या फिर Uttarakhand? Which one is the one? Sorry. Which one is the one? Okay, 99th ka A. Alright, B is the correct answer here. That is Kerala, right? Now, a kind of ranking and maybe score has also been given. That is 76.22%. So that is also something which is very important. Next question says, or the last question says, according to Global Unicorn Index 2025, released by Huron Research Institute, how many unicorns did India have, and what was its global ranking as well? Maybe they can ask you that who releases it, or ये भी जो question है ये important बन जाता है, ठीक है? Maybe they can ask you in another way as well. So which one is the correct answer? Which one is the correct answer here? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Last question. Which one is the correct answer? 100th ka B. I think most of the people are answering here B only. Correct. B is the correct answer. ठीक है? और ये क्या है? इसका rest of the information about it. So all right. Thank you so much for joining the session. We are done with 300 questions now. And जो हमारी next class रहेगी उसमें we'll cover rest of the portion as well, right? Okay, so today I wanted to take Ministry of Finance schemes also. It has been rescheduled just because of my health condition only. So I'll let you know the rescheduled timings as well, right? ओके जो पीपीटी है या फिर जो जो पीडीएफ जो मैंने बोला था, जो पीडीएफ है वो मेरे टेलीग्राम चैनल पे ही मैं शेयर करूंगी. दैट इज इकोनॉमी विद पायल. ठीक है. ऑलराइट, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग द सेशन. नाउ आई विल मीट यू इन अनदर वन. ठीक है, जो भी टाइमिंग्स रहेंगी वो मैं आपको बता दूंगी. ऑलराइट, थैंक यू सो मच. नाउ आई विल मीट यू इन द नेक्स्ट वन. टिल देन टेक केयर, बाय बाय. थैंक यू.